Today, we learn English with a real speech. King Charles gives a big message. But we explain it in easy English. You will learn vocabulary. Improve your listening. And understand powerful English. Let's begin. On a quiet morning in London, the city slowly began to wake up. The streets were calm, and a soft grey sky covered the tall buildings. People were walking to work, holding warm coffee cups in their hands. Some were checking their phones. Others were listening to the news through headphones. There was something special in the air that day. Everyone felt it, even if they did not fully understand why. Today was not an ordinary day. Today, King Charles was going to give a big speech. In a small apartment across the ocean in the United States, a young man named Daniel was getting ready for his day. Daniel lived in Chicago. He was learning English as his second language. Every morning, he practiced English by listening to news stories and speeches. He believed that listening to real stories helped him understand English better. When he turned on the television, the news anchor spoke clearly and slowly. Today, King Charles will address the nation in an important speech, she said. Daniel stopped tying his shoes and looked at the screen. He felt curious. He decided to listen. King Charles stood inside a grand hall filled with history. The walls were tall and strong, decorated with old paintings and golden frames. Every detail told a story of the past. The hall was silent. People waited patiently. Cameras were ready. Reporters stood still. When King Charles entered the room, everyone rose to their feet. He walked slowly but confidently. His face showed calm, but his eyes showed deep thought. This speech was important, and he knew it. King Charles took a deep breath before speaking. He looked into the camera, knowing that millions of people around the world were watching. Not only people in the United Kingdom, but also people in the United States, Canada, Australia, and many other countries. His voice was gentle, but strong. My friends, he began, today, I speak to you not only as your king, but as a fellow human being. Daniel leaned closer to the television. The English was clear. The sentences were simple, but meaningful. Daniel liked that. He grabbed his notebook and started writing new words. He wrote the word fellow and underlined it. He whispered the word softly, practicing pronunciation. King Charles continued speaking. He talked about change. He said that the world was changing faster than ever before. Technology, climate, and society were moving in new directions. People felt uncertain. Some felt afraid. Others felt lost. He acknowledged these feelings. He did not speak like a ruler above the people. He spoke like someone who understood their worries. In the United States, many viewers felt connected to his words. Even though King Charles was not their king, his message felt personal. Americans understood change. They understood uncertainty. They had experienced economic struggles, health crises, and social challenges. The speech crossed borders. It crossed cultures. It reached hearts. King Charles paused for a moment. Silence filled the hall. He then spoke about responsibility. He said that leadership was not about power, but about service. He said that true strength came from listening. His words were slow and clear. He wanted everyone to understand. He wanted young people, old people, and learners of English to follow his message. Daniel smiled slightly. He felt proud that he could understand most of the speech. A year ago, this would have been difficult. But now, listening every day had helped him grow. He repeated a sentence out loud. Leadership is about service. He practiced the rhythm of the words. The king then shared a personal story. He spoke about his mother, Queen Elizabeth, and the lessons she taught him. He said she believed in patience, kindness, and duty. He said that leadership meant standing strong during hard times. The room felt emotional. Some people had tears in their eyes. This was not just a political speech. This was a human story. In a small town in Texas, a teacher named Sarah played the speech for her students. Many of her students were English learners. She believed real speeches helped them understand real English. She paused the video often and explained words. She asked students how the speech made them feel. Some students said it made them feel hopeful. Others said it made them think about responsibility in their own lives. King Charles continued. He spoke about unity. He said the world was divided, but it did not have to stay that way. He encouraged people to talk to each other. He encouraged understanding instead of anger. His voice stayed calm. He never shouted. He never rushed. This made his words more powerful. Back in Chicago, Daniel felt inspired. He thought about his own life. He worked long hours. He studied English at night. Sometimes he felt tired. Sometimes he wanted to give up. But listening to the speech gave him strength. If a king could speak about patience and learning, then Daniel could continue his journey too. The speech also talked about the environment. King Charles had always cared about nature. He spoke about protecting the earth for future generations. He said small actions mattered. Turning off lights, saving water, helping communities. These ideas were easy to understand, even for English learners. That made the speech special. In California, a family watched the speech together. The parents explained the message to their children. They talked about helping others and caring for the planet. The children asked questions. The speech started conversations. This was the power of words. King Charles then addressed young people directly. He said young voices mattered. He encouraged education, learning, and curiosity. He said learning never stops, no matter your age. These words reached classrooms, homes, and libraries across the United States. Daniel wrote another sentence in his notebook. Learning never stops. He circled it. He felt like the king was speaking directly to him. As the speech continued, the king thanked nurses, teachers, workers, and volunteers. He said they were the true heroes of society. He recognized everyday people. This made the speech feel warm and respectful. In New York, a nurse watched the speech after a long shift. She felt seen. She felt appreciated. Even though the words came from across the ocean, they felt close to home. King Charles ended his speech with hope. He said the future could be better if people worked together. He asked people to believe in kindness. He asked them to believe in progress. His final words were slow and clear. Together, we can build a better tomorrow. The room stood in silence after the speech ended. Then, applause filled the hall. The cameras slowly faded out. The moment was over, but the message remained. Daniel turned off the television and sat quietly. He replayed parts of the speech in his mind. He practiced sentences again. He felt motivated to study more. He realized that learning English was not just about grammar. It was about understanding stories, emotions, and ideas. Later that day, social media in the United States was full of comments about the speech. Some people discussed the message. Others shared clips. English learners shared how the speech helped them practice listening. Teachers recommended it to students. It became more than a speech. It became a learning tool. That night, Daniel practiced speaking. He stood in front of a mirror and pretended to give his own speech in English. He spoke slowly. He made mistakes. But he did not stop. He remembered the king's words about patience and effort. Across the world, King Charles sat quietly after the speech. He knew words had power. He hoped his message reached those who needed it most. He believed that simple language could create strong connections. The next morning, Daniel woke up early. He felt different. He felt confident. He opened a book and continued learning. He knew the journey was long, but he also knew something important. Progress happens one step at a time. The speech became a reminder. A reminder that leadership is not only for kings. It is for anyone who chooses kindness, responsibility, and learning. For English learners, it became proof that understanding grows with practice. And so, from a grand hall in London to small homes across the United States, one speech connected millions. Not through power, but through words. Simple words. Honest words. Words that teach, inspire, and bring people together.